Hey guys, welcome back to another week of gaming news. We're going to be going over some good and some bad news in the gaming industry. If you're new here, we're an up and coming channel. I focus on reviews, previews, tip videos, and now gaming news. Consider hitting like and subscribe. Help us reach our goal of 500 subscribers. So let's get straight into things. If you haven't seen my Starfield review video, spoiler alert, I didn't like it. Good news though, because Bethesda has put out a roadmap of all their future content updates to the game. We're done beta testing, guys. I mean, we finally did it. The game's almost ready. This new update shows off better lighting, which I think there were some points in the game where it was shining in people's faces and it was just way too bright. Maps, holy shit, right? Maps. And new ways to travel, even though Todd Coward decided to be like, no, the way we travel is perfectly fine. There's no need for vehicles. I mean, there's just a lot more that's going to be coming out with these updates. It really just looks like stuff that should have came with the game. So good news, I guess, on that point. We're finally going to get what maybe we deserve. I think this game has just been through so hard of like copium from fanboys. I mean, people defended this thing to the death, and it looks like it's finally starting to wear off. People are finally seeing this for what it really was. And I mean, I think as gamers, we deserve better. And I think that's what people are starting to realize here. It's getting like mostly negative reviews now on Steam. People are finally pointing out, what could have been with this game. And I mean, honestly, with the updates, if it redoes it, if they end up doing something cyberpunk like, right, where they just do a full U-turn or a No Man's Sky and they adjust everything, this could be a great game. So, I mean, on a positive note, we could go in a good direction. More bad news, gamers are irresponsible with their money. Crazy, right? Valve has raked in more than $1 billion in CS2 case openings, which is just nuts. If you don't know what that is, Counter-Strike 2, you're able to get cases with gun skins in them, right? Some of these gun skins are being sold for extreme, just crazy amounts of money. I think the last gun skin, or maybe the highest gun skin ever sold, was an AK gun skin that was sold for $400,000. I mean, yeah, that sold, guys. Someone bought that gun skin for $400,000. I don't think Fortnite skins are the issue. Gamers with adult money are the problem here, guys. It really just comes down to us. We're just irresponsible. And just some more crazy news. Palworld has taken the world by storm. It's all over social media feeds. It's crushing records. I mean, it's about to pass PUBG for having the most concurrent players on Steam. I think it's number 2 right now as of me even just recording this. I bet it's going to pass it. This game is everywhere. It's honestly a fun time. It's riddled with just controversy. I mean, Pokemon fanboys are up in arms, but overall, I'm going to be dropping a video. I'm going to let you guys know how I feel about the game. I've put in like 20 or so hours. Still a little bit outside of that intro area, but I mean, I'm a weirdo. I have to do everything in an area before I move to the next area. When it comes to some Xbox news, Halo Infinite is no longer Infinite. I mean, they advertised this thing as just being the one big Halo, right? This was going to be the one that was updated. It was going to be the last Halo game, at least on this generation, from what I remember, right? I mean, that's why they called it Infinite. But no more season passes, no new seasons. All of that's just not happening anymore. It looks like the developers are just cutting this game out and maybe focusing on what's new, which is, I guess, good and bad news. When it comes to the campaign, I thought it was all right. I liked some of it. It just wasn't done as well as I thought it would be done. Just a whole new take. And then, when you get into the multiplayer aspect of it, so much was missing there. I mean, it was free to play, which is cool, but not enough updates came. I mean, it just felt like the game was really lackluster overall. And, people will come out and be like, oh, the game got better. Oh, they've updated it. But at least for me, it was just too little too late. I had already moved on. There's so many other games coming out. And it was a crazy year, especially last year. I mean, am I disappointed? Yeah, I'm a huge Halo fan. I was looking forward to Infinite. I liked that multiplayer when it first came out. But I mean, just the amount of weird choices they made with the customization and locking behind colors and not being able to choose the game type you wanted to play. I mean, I know they fixed it later, but come on, guys. It was just really, really basic stuff that just made it not that much more enjoyable. In even more Xbox news, they had a surprise-ish maybe developer direct. I mean, I didn't see much marketing on this. I didn't even know it was coming. They showed off some games there that were coming to the Xbox. Nothing really that stood out except, I mean, Avowed by Obsidian. That dropped like a trailer and kind of like a reveal. I think it was like 7 or 8 minutes long. Some people hate it and they think it looks a little weird. If you ask me my opinion, it looks like a typical Bethesda game, which is it's a weird thing, right? Bethesda games used to be like held up to this standard, but it almost looks like a Oblivion style clone with magic and I think some guns and swords. It looks like a fun time. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved Outer Worlds. I think Obsidian's great, but I wasn't really like wowed by this one. I'm not, as looking forward to it as I thought I would be. But in other news, they did drop a surprise trailer for an Indiana Jones game, and weird enough, that one was actually pretty good in my opinion. I thought the music was great, the voice acting sounded awesome. I like that it was in first person, and I mean, on top of all this, the story is based on some real life mystery. The only negative that I saw, guys, was that Todd Howard was in this video, but everything that comes out of that guy's mouth, I mean, I've been take it with a grain of salt. I really just have trust issues with him. But on the bright side, the trailer looked great. I liked the action that was in it, and actually, I was pretty hyped for that one. It looks like something finally good is coming. With more bad news, companies are shitting the bed. Activision dropped a Season 1 Reloaded, or Raven, or whoever is involved in Call of Duty right now. But Season 1 Reloaded basically broke Warzone and it broke Call of Duty. There was visual effects, which I already had issues with when the game had first came out, but I guess this made it almost unplayable. People were getting frozen trying to pick up a loadout. So just imagine trying to grab a loadout and just getting sniped by other people because you were frozen there. Disconnects were more frequent. I mean, that just is a pain in Battle Royale. And I mean, on top of that, I mean, armor glitches. I mean, a crazy amount of things were just going wrong to where they issued out an apology. They're giving out some XP tokens, which are, I mean, I guess a positive for anyone that's still trying to level. But, they said that this somehow got through their quality control and, they apologized for it. And they're just hoping people, have the patience with them. I think right now things have been fixed. I haven't really played the game ever since I kind of got through the battle pass already. I had a pretty good time in Modern Warfare 3, despite it clearly being DLC, like just honestly, and I knew what I was signing up for, but they got me with the old maps, and Warzone was actually, I like the new Warzone. I like the new Warzone map. In other news, Rockstar and Remedy are both beefing over the use of the letter R, right? Just crazy world we're in to where people could just sue each other or copyright a letter. Rockstar is basically claiming that Remedy has taken their logo or is infringing on whatever copyrights they've got. I thought this was such a freaking weird article, guys. I mean, really, I just feel like Rockstar has better shit to do than to come after Remedy. And I really like Remedy. Alan Wake 2, amazing game. Control, great game. It's just weird. I think they're crazy for it. Not sure where this one's going. I'll keep you guys posted on what happens, but weird times that we're living in. Speaking of weird times, a Ubisoft exec is currently under fire for saying that gamers need to be comfortable with not owning games before streaming takes over. It's a really crappy thing to say, seriously, especially to like a group of people that like to collect, or usually people that game collect other things. And I mean, people came at him with some funny comments online saying that Ubisoft should get used to pirating because that's probably what's happening. But on on the other side, I was just really torn by this statement. I think it's like a really crappy thing to just come out and say. Maybe he should have just kept it in his head. But if you ask me about my personal experience, the last time I bought a physical game was Diamond Remastered or whatever on the Switch, and that was because it was like $25 on sale on Amazon. I don't buy physical games. I don't like walking into GameStop. I don't stop by at the Target area for any of their games. I don't like that it takes care of, space. It just takes too much space in my house. I have enough crap that, I have. And it's just a lot more easier for me to just hit the download button, download it on Steam, right, on my computer, or download it on Xbox, download it on PlayStation. I mean, I'm subscribed to Game Pass. On top of me being subscribed to Game Pass, I subscribed to Ubisoft Plus. I paid them $17 so that I could play Prince of Persia and not have to buy it because I mean, I wasn't sure. Their track record's shit. $17 for a month. I get to play that and whatever other games they've got if I've got time. Then hit the cancel button and we're done. It's a weird time. We live in times where we don't even own movies anymore. I think Best Buy is just clearing out all the inventory and they're just lowering, how much space they're gonna have because people don't buy that shit. And maybe he's onto something. It's crappy, and I feel for people that collect. I think people grade games now, which is wild, but I don't think it'll ever die out. But where Netflix is, where Game Pass is doing, Sony even made their own type of like subscription software. it just looks like that's where we're headed, unfortunately. And I mean, just look at Steam. If you guys all play on PC, we've all got like a huge Steam library. I would say the only con to me buying online on like PlayStation 5 is, let's just say PS6 comes out, it's not going to be as compatible with PS5 games or whatever weird decision they make. And I'm screwed, right? All the games that I bought are worthless on the PS6 unless I still have my PlayStation 5. So we'll see where things go. Funny reacts on the internet about this guy for being a piece of shit and coming out and saying it, but I don't know. I mean, the future is weird. So that wraps things up for this week's gaming news. I'm going to be dropping some Palworld content. I'm actually going to do some impressions videos. Notice some things that I might drop a tip video on. On top of that, I've been doing a Prince of Persia playthrough for that new game. Like I said earlier, I'll be dropping a review on that soon. If you haven't, check out my Tarkov Arena impressions. I just made that video as well. Got to play a real stressful tactical game. So for anyone that's into that, I think it's a cool game to check out. I'll see you all in the next video.